All right, FightHype.com. Sean Zittel here with my man, The Rock, Hasim Rahman Jr., Gold-Blooded, LLC in the house as well. Rock, let's get right to it, man. Jake Paul loses a split decision to Tommy Fury last Sunday, or this Sunday, right at the beginning of the week. But what'd you think of the fight, man, overall?
Uh, it was entertaining. It was entertaining because of the people that were in it. But if that was just two guys who you didn't know who they were, it definitely wasn't a master class of boxing.
Did you feel the right man won?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
even
I
even
mean,
yeah.
my breakdown of the fight. I mean, Tommy Fury took the first two rounds easy. Jake took the third easy. And Tommy Fury dominated 4 through 7, easy. The eighth round is would have been a 10-8 round for Jake Paul, but I felt like Tommy Fury got up and won the rest of the round. And when that's the case, you scored 10-9 or 9-9 or 9-8. However, even if it was a 10-8 round, though, that gives Jake 3 rounds. He won the eighth round. If you give it to him 10-8, that's 2 rounds. You give him the third round. That's it. There's no other round in the fight where you could give to Jake. Even the round where Tommy got a point deducted, Jake lost that round. And then Jake got a point deducted, so that cancels each other out. So the point deductions didn't come into play because they both got a point deducted. Jake lost the first, the second, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and arguably the eighth. So yeah, the right man definitely won the fight.
The jab was a big issue for Jake in the fight. Couldn't really get out of the way of it. What
The,
did Go ahead.
was about to say the first punch you learn in boxing, the first punch you learn how to defend. Obviously, this man hasn't had enough time to adjust to different. See, what Tommy did was he was changing the delivery and the speed of his jab. And when you're in there and you're boxing, you're only boxing people that are taking it easy on you, or people who are not there to hurt you. That's what happens when you get in there. He was in there, and when his uh when his overhand right didn't work, everything else just went down the toilet. I felt like when Jake hit Tommy with that, it was early on in the fight. He hit Tommy with a flush overhand right, and Tommy walked right through it. And I keep telling people, like how I kept telling people, Jake Paul can't punch. I keep telling people that. Nobody believed me. They think I'm just saying it just to be saying it just because
What Carl Froch said the other day about
was
he was kind of echoing your sentiments. That's all. I didn't know if you got to see what he had to say too.
I didn't, but I mean anybody who's not being biased or you know what I'm saying, is not on the clout train of Jake Paul, they're gonna keep it real with you and keep it real. They made a huge mistake. They underestimated Tommy. He has a rookie team around him, people who obviously don't know what they're doing. This is not their realm. Tommy Fury and the Furies played Jake Paul's game better than him.
Well, I mean, you make a point there because even from the outset, getting the fight ultimately moved overseas, right? That was like a round one before the fight in their favor. But to talk about the other side for Jake in the fight, like you said, he was missing with the overhand right. But then down the stretch of the fight, he did start to time him up with the left hook, and then he eventually drops him with the left hand same time. Took shots in the fight and kept. Is there anything that you could give credit to Jake for in the L?
Nope.
I try to get you to, but
Not as much shit as he talked. He talks the most shit. He's calling out world champions. He's saying that he will be a world champion. No, you don't. No, absolutely not.
right. So and I guess that's a point your man from Baltimore was making after the fight too, Javante, as well.
I mean, and I didn't even hear what he had to say. But when you calling out world champions and you such in this big bad guy, and you got beef with this fighter and you got beef with that fighter, and you calling out people in boxing, and then let's keep it real. Tommy Fury is not the best boxer out there. He's not the best. He's not even close to the best. And you got your ass taught a boxing lesson by him, a pure boxing lesson Tommy Fury gave him. And for them to go over there and think that oh, we're gonna rank Jake Paul in the WBC rankings.
We're gonna get
And
our 3%, goddamn it, somehow.
from that they went and said, okay, we're gonna rank whoever wins. So that should have been boom. That should have been ding ding for Jake Paul's inexperienced camp. He's got a novice bookkeeper as a manager in Nikisa. He's literally like got to be a dumbass who goes overseas with the biggest international superstar in boxing and don't get neutral judges, while Tyson Fury's paying 3% of $100 million in WBC fees. And you really thought you thought they had y'all, huh?
It's
Y'all
kind
thought
of
they
what I was
had
getting at
y'all.
earlier about the first round before the bell even rang, having the fight over there, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. It, having the fight over there, you gotta have that's boxing 101. You gotta have neutral judges. Gotta have neutral judges. No, no neutral. Oh
Like, do you
man,
think
Fury's gonna
if
eat
the
that
fight
up.
would have happened on Showtime like originally planned, with that knockdown in the last round, he would have got the decision in America. Whether you feel he deserves it or not, would he have gotten it?
I think that he was too far behind on the cards. To be honest with you, I'm just being honest. I think that going into the last round, he needed a knockout, not just a knockdown. He needed a knockout. I think I even tweeted, if Tommy Fury stays on his feet, he wins. And he got knocked down, but he still stayed on his feet and finished the bout. He actually showed that Fury. Tommy Fury showed that little bit of Tyson Fury, got his ass up off the canvas and won that last round. Finished the fight like a real champ. Shout out to Tommy. I like that.
Yeah, the Furies are kind of good at that now that you mention it, getting
I
off the
like that. I like that.
now. But putting aside anything, could Jake win a rematch? Would he win a rematch? He did. He
He
made
could.
adjustments down the stretch.
He could, but just trying to put myself in Tommy Fury's shoes. Put myself in Tommy Fury's shoes, and I was in Tommy Fury's shoes. So I'm going back to what I was thinking. Now, when they sent me the first contract check for the Jake Paul fight, there's a rematch clause in the contract. Then they came, and then they didn't tell y'all this is exclusive on FightHype. Then they came back and doubled back and took the rematch clause out the contract. So me in the beginning, I'm thinking, okay, we fight him at first. I can't stop him because then I'm gonna mess up my 7-figure guarantee for the rematch. So I gotta pretty much let him go the distance so I can get this rematch, then get the big money. Then they took that off the table, so it was over. All right, now I'm gonna just go get him. So put myself in Tommy's shoes. He was stepping on the gas. He got the putting punches together. Jake wasn't blocking them, wasn't getting out the way of him. I'm not gonna say Tommy didn't let off the gas a little bit. Man got a little complacent in that last round. That's why he got dropped. Maybe got a little overconfident. But Tommy Fury, I think, did himself a great service in getting the victory. And just as much as Jake can win the rematch, Tommy can stop him in the rematch and don't have to worry about not getting the rematch because he just stopped the YouTuber
Now, have him,
and make twice as much money.
while you're watching the fight, what are you thinking of how it would have went between you two had without you worrying about a rematch, right? Just you fighting to the best of your abilities against him. And was any part of you hurting during the fight? Like, damn, that should be me.
No, because it's Allah's plan, not mine. Whatever Allah has planned for me is for me. This was Tommy's glory. This was Tommy's. It's always been Tommy's thing to do. This was Tommy's moment in boxing. That this was Tommy's road. This was Tommy's fight. That was almost given to me. Well, I had it was given to me, but this has always been what Tommy was supposed to do. And from the tears in his eyes after the fight, you could tell it meant a lot to him. This was his moment in boxing. I don't mean no disrespect, but this is probably the highest that he goes. And hey, more power to him. But for me, I have much different aspirations. I have much different goals. Um, I really feel like I'm on a different path, and everybody's path is different. Will our paths collide? I hope so. But there wasn't a part of me that was like, oh, that should have been me, because that wasn't my fight. That was Tommy's fight to begin with. So this was really supposed to happen December of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the hoopla we wound up going to, we finally get the fight in 2023, and Jake finally loses. And you said when I was watching the fight at first, what was I seeing? I just was seeing Jake. I was like, damn, Jake can't dodge a jab to save his life. He could not get out the way of that boy jab. It was like he was just like he was eating jabs like they didn't score
And you have a
points.
good jab, to be
I have
fair.
a much better jab than Tommy Fury. If you go watch every interview from when me and Jake was supposed to fight, he repeatedly says, Rockman's better than Fury. He's better than Tommy Fury. He's better than Tommy Fury. So when I look at that fight and I'm looking, and I knew Jake's game plan coming into the fight with me. I don't think Jake would have made it out of 3 or 4 rounds. Maybe not even made it out the first round.
If he did, though, because when I'm watching it, I'll be honest with you, Rock. I'm watching it and I'm like, I said, I'm seeing what you're seeing. I go, I think Rock has a very good chance he would have got him out of there in 3 or 4 rounds.
I'm
But if he
saying,
didn't,
those shots that he was taking would have taken a much bigger toll on him had they been coming from me. I think he made the right choice in going ahead and dropping weight, staying away from 200 pounds, not saying my name, keeping my name out of his mouth. He really showed no interest in revisiting that, but he goes and revisits Tommy. He goes and he wanted me to drop weight to get to him, but you go turn around and challenge Floyd Mayweather, a 155-pounder, to come up to 175 pounds. You want Floyd to come up 20 pounds, but you wouldn't give me 10 pounds. This is all fact. Meanwhile, I'm over here fighting somebody 100 pounds bigger than me.
and you got a lot of flack after that fight, man. Was that tough to go through? Everyone blowing you up on social media and talking
I'm
grease.
not even gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna lie. I've had 15 pro fights, almost 15 pro fights, almost 100 amateur fights. I have never ever gotten as much positive feedback and reinforcement after a fight than I did after I lost to Greg Hardy.
Especially Clarissa Shields. She was like ride or die after the fight.
That's my dog right there. That's my dog right there. Shout out to Guo.
No
And
doubt.
I've been rocking with her since I was an amateur. I definitely been a huge supporter, big fan of hers, and she the GOAT. And just like she the GOAT of women's boxing, I'm gonna become the GOAT of crossover boxing, guaranteed.
Shout out to Clarissa, man. She's bringing that Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather energy to the sport, that level of being a winner and that mentality. But you talk about the crossover stuff. Man, I'm a purist. I'm a traditional guy. What are you gonna do? Some tag team boxing with these guys, or what are you cooking on, man?
This is something that boxing hasn't seen before. This is something that nobody's seen before. And to be fair, the very first person to ever even mention tag team boxing to me was my dad. And this was like 2 years ago. So it's not a concept that's like, oh, it's so forbidden. It's just something that, is interesting. And just like seeing YouTubers fight in an actual pro boxing setting, it's interesting. Misfits Boxing is bringing people entertainment, bringing people a whole different fan base than the purists, a completely different fan base, entertaining fights to watch. You don't see fight cards with people who are well known from top to bottom only on Misfits. When you fight, when you watching a regular boxing show, when you go to regular traditional boxing matches, the main event, maybe the co-main, you might know the guys. These Misfits fights, from top to bottom, every single person on the card has a huge following. That's the difference. All these different huge followings coming together to watch their people box and fight and compete on a professional level. I mean, what can we say? KSI has come up with a genius plan, and it's taken over. The zone just signed him for 5 more years. So sorry to the purists that hate us. He ain't going nowhere.
We're suffering. I'll say this. I'll say this. Just so it's not all hate on the purist side. That Salt Poppy, the way he takes his little half steps back and walks you into that left hand.
Nope.
I got to tip the hat a little bit. I do.
My plan. I feel like, I was born to be a leader. I feel like I have the most experience in the Misfits boxing lane. I feel like I have probably the highest boxing IQ in the Misfits boxing lane. I'm probably the most dangerous fighter in the Misfits boxing lane. Uh, Even though I'm coming off of back-to-back losses. So with that being said, I look to right my ship. And what I want to do is at the end of all this, when I'm done with my career, when I'm even while I'm going on with my career, I want to take somebody. I don't know who yet, but I want to take somebody from Misfits Boxing, have them develop themselves and develop being at that level and fighting on that big stage in Misfits Boxing, and go with them over the traditional boxing and win a world title. That would be that is what I'm looking for when I go to these events. That's what I look for. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Sal Poppy? Is it gonna be Waleed Sharks? Is it gonna be Dean the Great? Is it gonna be Slim? Is it gonna be Adam Salad? These are guys that y'all don't even know.
Adam Sandler? Adam Sandler? Y'all got Adam Sandler fighting
No,
boxing?
Adam Sandler. My guy, look, I don't know who it's gonna be yet, but one of these guys really wants to be a champion. One of these guys, all of these guys are really putting in work. But somebody, maybe even two or three, somebody wants to be a champion. And I know what it takes to get there. And if you want to put in the work, if you're going to put in the work, you got somebody that knows everything right here on your corner. And the best way to lead is by example. So I would like to bring the first world title over the Misfits Boxing, and they support me 100% in my title aspiration. And I believe that it won't be the last world title to come over the Misfits.